welcome to another edition of Digital Banking Work in Progress, where we chat about the various complications of transforming banks to digital. This is where I get to chat to some of the most remarkable leaders in banking and hear their daring opinions on what it takes to go digital. And today, I have the privilege and the pleasure of speaking to Constantin Mareș, Chief Digital Officer of OTP Bank, Romania. Now, Constantin is one of those rare individuals who has close to 30 years of experience in various functions of banking, including corporate banking, credit, operations, and most importantly, technology. So good morning, Kosti. It's wonderful to have you here. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm great. I'm so energized and inspired by the talks with you, and I'm so glad to be here today.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Speaking of being inspired, I speak to a lot of CDOs, CTOs, CIOs of banks as a part of my job. And they all usually speak very highly of the technology innovations that they've done. And I think it's perfectly natural and it's perfectly all right. But the first time I met you, we were on a Finextra panel discussion, and you were talking about the biometric onboarding that you had just implemented at OTP Bank, which we know was a resounding success. But still, you were very critical about the UX of it. So I'm just curious to know whether you're always so self-critical about your work.
Yes, because I think this allows us to progress. This allows us to become better. If we put ourselves in the place of the customer and see that our technology that we love is maybe not that usable and likable for the customers, then we change our perspective. And if you have as a digital strategy an objective like having lovable applications, then you'll understand that lovable means a lot of effort, means a lot of changing a lot of things to go there.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I think it's a key ingredient in always improving, a digital experience, a customer experience that a lot of us don't actually, do or participate in as much as we should. I'm a technology person, you come from a technology background, and obviously I believe that technology can make or break a digital strategy or even a digital transformation project. But I've understood over the years, by participating in a wide range of projects with various types of banks, that people and culture can play an enormous role in digital transformation. So I'm going to ask you a bit of a hard question. I'd like to know, as a percentage, how much do you think people and culture contribute towards a successful digital transformation project?
I would rate the importance as a very high one, and I'll give you a figure. I think the technology is technology, and we use across the banks very similar technologies. And as I like to say, probably no one will win the Nobel Award for banking in near time soon. So actually, the difference is made by the people and how the people use the technology. And this starts with the employees and then goes to the people enabling the technology from IT background. And in the end, it ends with the customer, or everything starts and ends with the customer. And if I have to look at the importance overall of the people in this complicated equation, I would say more than 90% is people and culture. More than 90%, because technology, in my view, is there. Technology is more advanced than what we people can use. And we have all sorts of wonderful technologies that are not used and are not usable because we don't have the right people, we don't have the right attitude, and we don't have the right mindset within our own teams and companies.
Wow, that's quite amazing that you said 90%. I was wondering whether you might say something over 50%, because that would have been that would have been quite startling for me. But you went ahead and said 90%. That's quite
Yeah,
steep.
but let me deep dive. Let me give you an example, just not to believe that I throw up figures in your face.
Yeah, yeah,
So before we had the transformation project, and
yeah.
we changed to agility, to the servant leadership. We wanted to, and we engaged people more. Before doing this, we are having project failure rates. I will not mention, but we are having delays of 1 year up to 2 years in one single project. And we realized that if we continue to do this, we will fail. We will fail in changing the bank. We will fail reaching the objectives of the bank. And when we change all this using the same technology, the rate of success was dramatically improved. Actually, we delivered in a short time frame more than 40 projects, complex ones, without delay, on budget, and with the expectation of the business reached. So that's how much how much important role people plays into this.
So you didn't just flimsily say 90%. You have the data to
No.
back up. Yeah, you have the data to back that up.
Yeah.
So that's an eye opener for me as well, because we participate in projects from a technology perspective. We provide technology, and we
you
do
have
give
great technology as well. Yeah.
Thank you. We do give, we do understand, and we do acknowledge the importance that people play in the project. But I don't think we as technologists ever realize that it plays a much larger role than the technology itself. So that's definitely feedback, not just for the banking sector, but also for us in technology, to cater that into our product stack, and to create the awareness, and to take in the feedback really from our users, which is the bank.
That is correct. And you brought up this topic that is very interesting, because there are vendors or partners like you open to listen and open to understand the emotions of the people working with on the other side, on the customer side. And these are the partners and the vendors that we like to work with, rather than the stiff ones always saying that they have the best technology and they do not care whether you can use it or not. So this is important factor as well.
So you mentioned you said the word servant leadership. And I know you're a proponent of servant leadership. I don't know a great deal about it. I have myself tried different methods of leadership, and some have worked better than others. But I'm curious to know what it is. To me, it sounds a bit scary. It sounds like you give up all control and you're at the mercy of different team players pulling in different directions. So please prove me wrong.
Yeah. So first of all, I don't like the name really, servant leadership, because it's so misleading, as you say. And actually, you do not give up control on anything. Servant leadership means that you let the people from your team do their job, shine in what they do. You do not tell them what to do on a day-to-day job. And actually, when they come up for a decision, I ask them, what would you decide? Because you have all the information, all the details. Tell me what to do. And this is not easy for the people. This empowerment comes with great responsibility.
Yes.
And you need to have the people to accept that responsibility, because it's not easy. The easy place for them is for you as a leader to decide. Because if it fails, it's you, boss. It's what can we do? This is what you told us to do. And when you put them in front of the things, it's complicated. And the best comparison that I found for servant leadership is a comparison with a military unit. And a military unit on the field,
Yeah.
they have to make decisions on the spot,
Yeah.
or they will die.
Yes.
And the only people that the squad can rely on is the other people on the squad.
Yes.
Not the command people
Yes.
in the center, because they don't know. And if
Yes.
they wait for an order, again, they will not survive. So that's how important it is to act and make decisions on the spot.
Yes.
And that's how important it is.
Yes. And
And
interesting that
you don't give up the control. You don't, even if you are in the command center and you don't know what is happening there in that very second in the field, and you have concerns about the safety of your squad, you trust that they can do the job better than having your command.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you should bring up the way leadership and taking decisions happen in the military, because when you're in the front lines, the way they work is that they never think of saving their own life; they think of saving their colleague, right? So the decisions that you make are very different, because if you are always thinking about saving your life, then you'll probably retract all the time, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a different mentality altogether. So do you think that kind of, I mean, leaving leadership aside, when you think of colleagues and team members and people that you work with, if you bring in that kind of thought, do you think that might make a positive impact on digital projects?
Definitely, because I think the environment that we have in banking, and not only, is very similar. Is VUCA: volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. And to deal with this environment is not easy, and is not for everyone. You need to have the skills, and skills is not enough. You need to have the technology. Technology is not enough. You need to have the right attitude, mindset, and that's when you have all of them together, miracles start to happen. And I believe that if we empower the people, we can achieve much more. You can achieve much more than having a few poles, pillars that you rely upon, and the rest are, let's say, going around that person. You always get limitations, you always get delays, and you always get frustration of the people. So when you empower the people, if you have the right people and you convince them that it's safe to assume the responsibility, because that is important. What happens if they fail? Because if they are afraid, they will not assume the responsibility.
Yes.
But if they assume the responsibility, they have the pride of doing things. That's when their eyes start to spark. And that's when you see their joy of doing things. And again, that's when the miracle happens.
Well, Kosti, I mean, that sounds magical. It seems almost too good to be true. That people would feel safe to, go ahead and take accountability and take the decision. But I think, in real life, that's a very big step. And, why would someone who does not have to make a decision today, who can just pass it on to the next level and just act on the decision given to them, want to actually expose themselves and take that responsibility? And like, if that's the case, how do you deal with that? How do you make them feel safe and secure to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. By the way, I think it's natural state of the people to develop fear and to be stuck in their fears, and this is normal state. And indeed, you need to act to move the people from this state. And I'll give you my personal example. 5 years ago, when I took over this position, it was a culture dominated by fear. and they were not doing, people were not doing anything until the previous leader told them what to do and approve everything. And of course, when you come on such environment, people do not open up. When I asked around how they are, everything is good, everything is wonderful. And I knew that this is not the case. I could sense the smell of the place, and I knew that it's far from that. And people, of course, do not open up to me. Why they should? What should they? And I started to create some events, like having a breakfast with people from the team, but not managers, people doing actual job, and started to connect with each other at a personal level. We talked about our likes, dislikes, hobbies, families. And then when people break the image of the mighty leader, the hero knowing it all, they are opening up. And when you ask feedback questions, more direct, like start, stop, continue. Start, what are the things that we should do in order to get your job better? What are the things that we should stop doing and you could be more productive if we would stop those things? And what are the good things that we do and you want us to continue as a leadership team to continue with those actions? When you ask feedback in this way, then many things pop up. And when you act upon those things, you go back to your leadership team, and I go to them and say, guys, this is the feedback. What can we do with it? What can we change? What should we change? And we start changing things. We take examples from what they told us. And I'll give you an example. Starting the pandemic, it was horrible. And people working from home, of course, we bought laptops. We didn't have laptops for everyone. And people started to work from home. We provided the communication. Everything was okay. But then the people started to say, look, I am working at home. I don't have a proper chair and my back is soaring. And we actually allow the people to take the ergonomic chairs from the office to take home. And that was a measure, didn't cost us anything, really, zero. But it was so much appreciated by the people. And when, again, they see these things happening with their feedback, they, of course, they started to trust us more. And we do other things. In our town hall meetings, we as leadership team talk about our own mistakes. I do mistakes every day. I'm not proud of them, but I celebrate the mistakes, learning from them. And when I share my mistake with the team of 200 people from my division, they start thinking, okay, this guy is making a mistake. He's still here. He's still around us talking about it. So maybe I could try a bit more next time, and the third time. And the fourth time, he would assume that big responsibility that he or she was afraid to take on before. And is not easy. I'm 5 years after that moment. So I relentlessly worked on this. And there is one thing, manager job, I believe is very difficult. And the person that says that working with people is easy, in my view, they don't know what we are talking about, what they are talking about. Because each person is unique. If you think you know how to deal with people, you are wrong.
It's a startling comment, because I used to always think that, I'm a people person. I used to think that I'm a people person. And I used to always think that, managing people, therefore, is easy because I'm a people person. But when I actually started managing, especially when the team started growing, and it was difficult to have those personal touches and those personal conversations that you can have when you're managing a smaller team. It really became so difficult. I never put words into it, but I think you said it quite well, that people who think that managing people is easy don't know what they're talking about. It's absolutely right.
And maybe there was one other thing that I would like to mention, because to do the things that I mentioned, you also need to work on yourself. You need the courage to
Yes,
expose
yes,
yourself and
yes.
to be vulnerable. And it's not easy for you to go there and say, guys, this is who I am. It takes a lot of self-awareness, a lot of confidence and courage, as I mentioned.
Absolutely. And I think it is even tougher for leaders to, go and do that, because they're assumed to have done something right to get to that place. So now you go and
Yes.
say, you know what, I just made a lot of mistakes. It's quite unnerving for leaders as well. So I think you've done well
Yeah.
to not just create this culture in the bank, but also to influence other leaders to be to be honest and genuine, and to be able to do that. That does take a lot of courage.
Yeah.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
I'd be able to do that. But it's certainly
But
something that I'm taking on board to work on.
yeah. But this is what you said reminded me of. I had a colleague that was with the team before me being in that position. He was a director, and I came into this position being his boss. And with totally different management style.
Right.
Dragoș Șerban is his name. He made the switch. He was like a sponge, absorbing things that I said, things that I did, and incorporated into his behavior. And after a while, he came to me and he told me, Costi, I didn't know that this is possible. It's so much more rewarding, this
Yeah.
management style
Yeah.
versus the previous one, that I'm so happy that this exists.
Yeah.
So
I think,
this type of moment gave me energy to continue. And
yeah, I think so. Yeah. And I think it's good that you talk about those like real examples with real people's names, because that gives credibility to stuff, to methods that often sound like, catchphrases that just make us look cool. But
yeah.
you've actually, I mean, every answer you've given, it sounded good, but you've also backed it up with data and examples. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. Because I mean, I can go on, absorbing like a sponge, as you say, because I mean, these are areas that we rarely talk about, because we talk a lot about technology, but we don't talk about, the key ingredient that is 90%, that can have a 90% effect on projects. So thank you
Yeah.
so much
And
for
what we
all these
usually
insights.
talk, sorry to interrupt. What we usually talk is about how wonderful the digital transformation was and
Yes,
the
yes,
agility transformation
yeah,
went. But actually, these are very, very difficult, very tough transformation. And
yes,
it's about people, it's about mindset. And there are a lot of roadblocks. It's a huge effort that you put behind, and people
yes,
do not talk about that
yes,
huge effort, about the challenges, about the struggles, about the fears, and about the
yes,
failures. Because
yes,
from in these 5 years of road amazing journey that I had with my team, we had a lot of failures. But as
right,
I told earlier, we celebrated learning from these
yes,
failures. We celebrated them, and that's how we become stronger. That's
yes,
how we have a better customer experience and a better NPS score and a better employee engagement score, because
yes.
we measure that with data, as you said.
Yes, that's really good. And I'm also committed to talking about the difficult things, the challenges, and the complications of digital transformation. Because, for the good stuff we have technology, right? But most of the complicated stuff, as I can understand, can't be fixed with
Yes.
technology alone. So with that, Kosi, I want to do a fun exercise with you. I want to have a quick fire round where I will
Okay.
give you a few words. I'll tell you a word at a time, and you can just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Right? It
Okay.
can
I
you
like
can, you
it.
can say it in a word, or you can say it in a sentence, but just very quickly, what did you think of
Okay.
first when I said it? All right?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay.
Yes.
First one is a boring one: behavioral authentication.
Face ID.
Okay. Open banking.
Open banking. Uh, failure.
No, interesting. The Great Resignation.
An opportunity.
Okay.
And what was the last
Fantastic.
one?
Oh, the last one is socks.
Socks.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. It's a Sarbanexley act or just a sock that you put in your feet.
Excellent. I just wanted to put you off your, off your comfort zone.
Yeah, you did.
Kosti, thank you so much for this conversation. Every time I speak to you, it's interesting, and also it's, I always learn something new. So thank you very much for sharing your insights, and for also agreeing to feature on my show, which I'm sure a lot of CXOs will really enjoy and really benefit from your thoughts. So thanks again.
I think they should.
Yes, they definitely will. Thank you very much. And thank you to all of those who are watching us.
Thank you.
And see you in a future episode.